Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do an installation video today on this F36 Grand Coupe 4 Series, and it's going to have a gloss black kit. We've never done a video on this before, so we're just going to go step by step how to fit the kits, the splitter in particularly. A lot of customers are always asking how to fit the splitters properly without them falling off, which a lot of them do going down the road. Usually self-tapping screws are being thrown through them, which results in them ripping out and coming off. So yeah, enjoy the video. I'm going to do a little bit of talk over throughout the video, but I'm going to focus on Isaac, who's going to be fitting the kit, just so that you guys can see. So yeah, enjoy it. We're going to start with the splitter, and then we're going to move around to the diffuser, which is a bumper off job. For all aftermarket diffusers, the bumper must be removed. So we're going to show you how easy that process is. A lot of customers are really put off by it, a little bit intimidated by removing the bumper, but it's dead easy. Then we're going to go on to the spoiler, and then we're going to drop the car down onto the side extensions, and then it's done. So we'll have a walk around when it's done. So yeah, I'm going to pass you over to Isaac now. So yeah, enjoy the video. Okay, so we've got the front canards on now, and as you can see with the tape, we always heat the tape up, which activates the adhesive, which prevents any falling forward. We also just add a little screw underneath here as well, which just reinforces the canard, stops it sliding forward. So the next part of the process is to lift the splitter up onto the canards. And we use 4x8 pop rivets for this, and we just go straight through. So we're not actually drilling holes in the bottom of the car here, so it just goes straight through the splitter. So it is an advantage to have an electric rivet gun. If you just sat there with the scissor gun, you're going to find it quite difficult. You're probably going to knock it out of line as well. And that's it. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rivet holes. If you were to buy this splitter from us, you would get 8 rivets per side for you to use. So this is where your rivets go. We get a lot of customers saying, where do the rivets go? This is where they go. They're there to build the splitter. And then once he's done this, he's going to move on to his bolts. So we use M6 bolts, M6 washers, and M6 locking nuts. And these go through the original holes on the sides, and then in the center you do need to drill. So always make sure on some cars, whether it be 3 Series, 4 Series, depending on the year of the car, you'll either have 8mm bolts in the center of the bumper, which you need to take out, or it'll have the push clips, the plastic push clips. Either way, they need to come out so that you can get behind the bumper to get the washer and the nut on the other side. And what that does essentially, and we explain this to all our customers, is, you know, at 70, 80 mile an hour, this starts to do its job. It's no longer cosmetic, it starts to do its job, and that is to pull the front of the car to the road at speed to improve handling, which is that's the basis of a splitter. So you need to be transferring all that downforce and all those forces back onto the structure of the car, which is the bumper. And by using the nut and bolt system that we use, you're actually doing that. So you're not letting the splitter take all the downforce. So here is an OEM hole that goes through the actual OEM hole of the splitter. Here as well. However, in the centre, you'll see here, you can get underneath. So you've got 4 holes in the splitter itself. We tend to use this one and this one, which gives it good rigidity. You do not need any more than 2 bolts in the centre here. So what Isaac's going to do now, he's going to drill that centre. He's going to drill his first hole. Remember to only go through one skin, because you don't want to be coming through here. So just be very careful when you're drilling. So the first bolt goes through, and then he will just repeat that for the second, and then I'll come back to you when he's putting in the bolts in the OEM ones. I'm just going to show you behind where you need to get. So you need to get behind the bumper skin, and as you can see there, Isaac has exposed the bolt ready for the washer and the nut. We just put a couple of little screwdriver heads in there just to give you space so you're not cutting your hands to bits. So you do that for both bolts, and that's the front one, so you can see how accessible that is. And so many people just run self-tappers through here, and it's so lazy. For the sake of 10 minutes, you could actually save your splitter from coming off just by doing this and using this process. So as you can see, nicely tightened down, washer and nut either side. So you will get supplied these bolts and these nuts with your fitting kit when you buy an splitter. So everything is supplied for you. So as you can see, they're nicely tight, and your centre is never going to come away. So the only way you're going to lose this splitter is if you hit it on a curb or it's self-inflicted. Okay, so moving on now. This is the OEM hole. So your hole is already here for this. It lines up perfectly, as you would expect with our splitters. Same process. Nut and washer on the other side, and then just tighten down. And then again on this one here. And that really is, folks, as simple as it is. So many people complicate these. Just make sure you use the fitting kit that we send, and you will never have a problem with this splitter coming off. Okay guys, that is literally it. So these are the screws that you need to be putting back in. If I can focus it in right. There we go. And these are your 8mm. Like I said, on some cars, depending on the year, these were push clips, so don't be alarmed if you don't have 8mm. So you just need to get these back in, because these are structural for your bumper. If for any reason you can't get these back in and they're not lining up, it's probably your bolts that are just stopping your bumper from just coming backwards. So either give it a good push or just have a look and see what is stopping it coming back. But you should always have these lined up and tighten like that. Okay, so moving on to the diffuser now. So this does require bumper removal. So many customers, they get a little bit jittery when you say, oh, you've got to remove your bumper. And I get it, because you've never done it before. It really is so simple. So you've literally got 2 8mm here, an 8mm on the corner. You've got 3 10mm in the centre. You open the boot. You've got a 10mm just at the side of the light, either side. And then you've got one T20 up on the wheel arch here. If you can see that. Literally takes 8 minutes to get a bumper off. And it's so much kinder to the car. You know, you're not trying to force the diffuser on. All aftermarket diffusers, whether it be for copyright reasons or whatever, the clips are a little bit longer. So in the centre of the bumper here, behind here, you've got a brace, and it's a solid brace. So essentially what you're doing is you're pushing the clips against a brick wall, and that is essentially what you're doing. And that's why a lot of aftermarket diffusers don't clip in properly when you don't remove the bumper. So it's so much kinder. You just remove the bumper, you remove the diffuser when the bumper's off the car. I'll show you that in a minute. And then just gently clip the new diffuser back in. And then you know it's all clipped in, especially around the fog light, the reflectors here. You know it's all clipped in properly. You know, I see so many coming in, and the diffusers have been fitted elsewhere. They're not clipped in here, and they're not clipped in a couple of places in the centre, and that's because of that brace that's behind there. So always make sure that you remove the bumper, turn it upside down, clip it in nice and gently, and then pop it back on the car. There are a couple of steps that I'm going to show you, little tricks that we've learned over the years to stop the bumper from popping out when you're putting it back on the car, because you've got flex in the bumper. And when it starts to flex, it can pop out on the corners here when you're putting it back on the car, which is really frustrating, because then you've got to take all your parking sensors out again and then do it all again. So I'll show you a little trick that we use to stop that happening. So yeah, I'm just going to hand back over to Isaac now. He's just going to drop the car down, do the little bits up top here. Parking sensors will be out, and then we'll show you what to do when we're fitting the bumper. So underneath, you've got this one, this one, this one, and that one. And then in the center, you've got the 3 10mm, and then the exact same at the other side. Okay, so then you come into the wheel arch, and you've got all the 2 8mm here, or the 3 on the 4 series, there's 2 on the 3. Then inside, you've got a T20, just where you can see, just there, if I can get it focused in. And you've got one of those either side. Okay, so as long as you've got these, you've got this one, you've got the 3 in the centre, you've got these 2 up top, that is bumper free. So then I'll show you what to do when Isaac drops it down. Okay, so good practice. Before you start removing the bumper, just mask off the top of your rear quarters. And particularly if you're on your own, because they can flap around a little bit, and if that happens, there's a good chance you're going to chip your paint on the corners. It's not worth it. And we also mask up the bottom of the light as well. Protection is far cheaper than the cure. Okay, so this particular vehicle is the F36 4 Series Grand Coupe. So the boot area is a little bit different to what you would find on a coupe. So these areas here particularly are larger. So you've got a much smaller cover on the F32 than what you have on the F36. It's the exact same principle. You've still got your screws here to take out, but it's just a little bit smaller. So if you've got the F32, don't worry, it's the same thing, but just smaller. Okay, so that is it, everything masked up. So what you need to do now you've got this screw out of here, is just pull directly outwards. So good pull, and then go to the other side. Same again. You see how easy that comes out? It's already starting to fall backwards, look. So if Isaac just pulls this one more time, you see how it's now starting to fall back. That is bumper free. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it to Isaac now, just to show you that it is possible to do on your own. So he's reaching inside, can't quite see it until he gets a bit further back, and he's unplugging the parking sensors. You can just see that one there. You do have a little bit of length on the wires, so don't be too concerned. If the bumper doesn't come back anymore, you know you're at the length of your wires, so just try not to pull it any further. But it would take quite a bit to break the wire. So you see Isaac's just popped that other side back on while he deals with the passenger side, so that the bumper don't fall away. And that's it. So nice and gentle and nice and straight. Pull the bumper away from the car and take it to your trestle. Easy as that. Okay, so first thing to do once the bumper's upside down, again, you don't have to do this, but it's good practice. You don't want to be cracking your reflectors. So just remove your reflector. It is literally just on clips. So just push it forward, push it down, and it will just pop out. And then slide it. Just pop it like that. Like I said, you don't have to do this, but it is good practice. Okay, so then it is dead easy. Just start unclipping your diffuser. It will unclip nice and easy. Now, the OEM diffusers, as the aftermarket diffusers, are quite robust, so don't worry too much. Okay, after you've given it a good clean down, offer the new diffuser up to the car exactly how you took the old one off. Start from the center and work your way outwards. So you can see the clips have got those little ears on as well. So that's the first one. And just work it in. Because you're going to be molding the diffuser to the bumper, some clips will start to become awkward. So just keep going, molding it until the clips go in on their own. You shouldn't really have to force the clips that much, unless the little lugs which are here are out of line, which need to come through with the clip. So make sure that that goes to the inside. So do you see why we remove the reflectors? It just eliminates any chance of cracking them. That's clipping in nicely now. There we go. And then same at the other side. Don't get too tempted to go into the clips at the edge yet. Get your others in first. There we go. It's starting to come through nicely now. There we go. Okay, so get your edges in. Okay, the edges, these seem to be the bits which cause people the most hassle. So with our diffusers, they clip in absolutely perfect. However, on the edges, when you come to offer the bumper back up to the car, you will find that this one here will try and pop out. So we're going to show you what to do here if that does happen. So just let Isaac get the clips in first and get the 8mm back in the bottom. Really important that you put that 8mm back in the bottom once you've got this clipped in, which really helps for that to stay in. So it just looks like Isaac's got a clip where the little lugs are not popping through. There we go. Clips in perfect. So you must make sure that 8mm is back in. Now what we do, just behind here, just behind that clip, we put a very small self-tapping screw behind here which forces that clip open. So Isaac's just going to put a screw just behind that clip, which will keep that clip pushed down for when the bumper flexes. Don't need to go too deep with it. The last thing you want to do is go through the side, so just make sure it's a small screw. And he's going to do the same at the other side, then he's going to put the two 8mm back in at the bottom. Okay, so we've got the screw in there. And if we just come around here, we've got our 8mm back in there, very important. Okay, so as long as you've got that and that, you're good to go. So the final thing to do is to pop the reflectors back in. Dead easy. Just pop them back in. There we go. Okay, so you can see bumper's back on. Sorry I missed the reinstall bit. We had a few problems with the video. So just popping all the screws back in. So just mirror exactly what you did when you took it off. As you can see, the edges have stayed in absolutely perfect with those little screws. Screws might fall out, they might not, doesn't really matter, because now you've got the flex back on the bumper, the clips are not going to come out. So as you can see here, all you need to do with this is just pop it back in. And just put all your screws back in. So as you can see, diffuser is on now. So just mirror everything that you did, or everything that we told you to do to take it off. So you've got your screw here, which is your T20. Just come out of Isaac's way. You've got your 8mm under here, 10mm through the centre, and your two T20s up at the top. That's it. That's as easy as it is to take your bumper off. So much kinder to the bumper as well, because you're clipping it in nice and gentle, you're not forcing it in. I've seen people literally on the floor pushing it in with the feet. So reflectors all back in. You can tell when you've got it in properly because it's all nicely lined up. where the reflector is. All the clips are in at the top, same at the other side. And that is literally the diffuser install. So if you've got any questions, we always provide support to all our customers. So if you've got any questions at all during this install, we're more than happy to jump on a video call with you, show you where you're going wrong, if you are going wrong, and correct you and just help you in the process. But yeah, that is it. Literally, the hardest part of the job is that splitter. So take your time, make sure that you're protecting your paintwork, protecting your lights. Bumper off, upside down, gently unclip your other one, clip your new one in nice and gently as well. Get your screws behind here to stop it popping out. And that's it, you'll get perfect look. Okay, so moving on to the spoiler now. So you can see we've already taped this up. And we use our high viscosity tape for this. You do not need Bonder. We see so many boot lids destroyed with Bonder. You don't need it. I'm going to show you the process of how we put these on. All you need to do is just make sure you've got a good coverage of tape. You heat the tape up, you clean the surfaces off properly, clean the surface of this before you put your tape on as well. Clean the boot lid. We use 100% alcohol, or 99%, really doesn't matter. You can go up to 75%, really doesn't matter, as long as you clean it with alcohol, because it gets all those impurities out of the paint. And then literally heat the tape up. Heat is your friend. So you must make sure that you heat the tape up, which activates the adhesive in the tape. If you don't do this, you will find that your spoiler will lift. So you must do that. We use a heat gun. You guys at home, you can use a hairdryer. Just get plenty of heat into the tape. We generally heat the tape until it starts to just crease up a little bit. I'll show you that later on in the video. But that is as simple as it is. So we'll go through the process in a couple of minutes and I'll come back to them. Okay, so like I said just previously, we use 99% alcohol. Get a good spray down. Clean it up. Today is a warm day, so we don't have any reason to heat the boot lid. If you're fitting this on a cold day, frosty day, make sure you put some heat into the metal on the boot lid. Obviously not too much heat where you start bubbling the paint, but it does help to have a nice warm surface. Okay, so that's the boot lid prepared. So Isaac is just going to just pop the ends of the tape off, which is what you're going to need to do in order to line it up on the boot lid. I'll just come around here. So as you can see, he's only peeling off the ends. If you peel all of this tape off first, you're going to find it really difficult to get it lined up where you want it to be first time. So help yourself and just use this method. Now we do it in the center as well, because if you start pulling the tape from here and then it breaks, you've lost your tape and you're not going to be able to get it out. So always give yourself two ends to work with, because if that end breaks, you can always pull it from this end as well. Now, probably hear you say the question, how are you going to keep these where they are? Well, Isaac will show you now. What we do, we use a heat gun and we just melt them down. There you go. Stay exactly where they are. Okay, so like I said in the previous video, heat the tape so you can see the tape starting to crease up now. Get plenty of heat through that tape, and what that's doing is activating the adhesive on that tape. If you don't do this, your spoiler will lift, so you must get the heat in the tape. And when you come to put it on the car, just pop your fingers over each end of the spoiler so you know how far you are away from the edge. So on the boot lid itself, you'll essentially have a finger at each end and you can tell if you're central or not. And that's how we do it. So there's plenty of heat going into this tape now. As soon as you turn that heat gun off, time is of the essence. You need to get this spoiler onto the car. Just do this way, but get that back over. That one don't want to stay. Generous with the heat. So now, whilst that tape's nice and tacky, get it to the car. You see how Isaac's got his fingers on each end. He knows exactly where his ends are. You can push the spoiler right up to the back of the boot so you know it's positioned correctly. And as soon as you know you're central, just push your ends down, pull your tape. Nice and gentle with your tape. You don't want to be breaking it. See how he's using both those ends. And he's just lifting the spoiler just very slightly to get that out, and then apply pressure. Just get all that pressure down on it. Make sure that the contact areas are covered. And that is your spoiler fitted. Now what's happening under there now is all that tape is cooling down and giving some serious adhesion. We had a small bet with a local company to see if they could get a spoiler off that we'd fitted with this tape in this method, and they could not get it off. And the good thing about using this tape is if you ever want to remove that spoiler for any reason, whether that to be replacing it or to put it back to stock, there's no damage underneath. Whereas with Bonder, you're damaging your paint. So that's the spoiler. So we're going to move on to the side extensions now. Okay, so just while Isaac is preparing the car, our side extensions for the F32 and the F36, as you can see, they come pre-drilled and grooved, so that is moulded to the underside of the car. You get a lot of other cheaper options on eBay, Amazon or wherever, AliExpress, and it is just a flat side extension. That is incorrect for this car. It's a good, thick, sturdy side extension, and it's grooved and drilled all the way down. Okay, so side extensions. First things first, clean them down. Never ever put brand new kit parts onto dirty parts of the car. It's a very bad practice. So give it a good clean down, and then get your fixings ready, get your screws ready, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, again, it is very, very possible to do this on your own. I'm going to get Isaac to show you. So get all your screws ready. You can see all the screws just all on the floor there. So get all your screws ready. You've got 15 screws each side. So I'm just going to come to the back. So because these are grooved, it shows you exactly where to put that. So you can see it fits perfectly on the back. You can't get that wrong. It is shaped exactly to the underside of the car, so it just slots in perfectly. So the main thing is get that all lined up and get your first screw in. Again, all the screws, they're all supplied. And as you work down the car, you'll feel the groove underneath the car. Make sure that the groove of the side extension is pulled into that groove on the car all the way down, and you will get a straight edge all the way. So you can see as it's working from the back forwards. Very important. Never start at the front with these. Always at the back. So it's just doing every other screw at the moment just to get it up and into position, and then finish the rest of the screws off. And it really is that easy on these. Because they are grooved, the side extension is essentially telling you exactly where it needs to go. And that's it, you just finish the rest of the screws. Okay, so that's it, complete, all done. The gloss black kit on the F36. So Isaac's just going to follow me around the car and just go through everything that we've just done inside basically. So the front splitter, as you can see, fits perfectly up to where it would for OEM. And just remember, you've got a bolt, another bolt, you've got 2 bolts in the middle, and again 2 bolts here. So with that, you've got a really robust splitter there. So moving round, side extensions, as you can see, fit perfectly well. Again, keeping them in the groove all the way down. So like I said, fixings are supplied with these. And then moving round to the boot spoiler, perfect fit. And then the diffuser. So don't be put off with this diffuser. Removing the bumper is a really easy process, and we explain that. You will get a guide with any diffuser that you order from us, whether it be 3 Series, 4 Series, 2 Series, 1 Series. You will get a guide on how to remove the bumper safely, get your diffuser on, and then put it back on the car. And that is it. That is the basic gloss black kit for the 4 Series BMW. So with it, you get the splitter, the diffuser, the side extensions, and the boot spoiler. So let us know what you think. Drop a like, drop a comment. We're going to be doing weekly vlogs from now on. So if there's anything that you want to see, let us know, and we'll get that videoed and hopefully give you some help with something that you might be struggling with. Other than that, that's a gloss black kit on the 4 Series. So we'll see you for the next one.